Do you want to know one of the fastest ways to build loyalty, generate a ton of referrals, and make everybody excited about your practice? Well, it's hosting a patient appreciation event. And I know it sounds complicated. I know it sounds like it wouldn't be fun and it's too much work, but let me tell you, you want to put your practice on the map? This is exactly how you do it. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to host and plan an epic event for your patients. Welcome to the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Rhonda, your no-fluff, tell it like it is business bestie for wellness practitioners just like you who want to build a practice you love and make a bigger impact and a little money while you're at it. So if you're ready to ditch the overwhelm, attract your dream, ideal patients, and finally run your practice with complete confidence, you're in the right place. Each week, we're tackling things from programs to patient retention to marketing strategies that actually work, sprinkled, of course, with a little sass, a lot of heart, and the step-by-step strategies that will help you get there. So grab your cup of coffee, your notebook, or whatever keeps you going, and let's build a practice you love and a life you love together. Well, hello, welcome back to the podcast. We're going to talk about patient events today. And I don't know about you. Well, I should ask a question if you were really here in front of me. When was the last time you did one? Maybe never. Back in the day, I used to do them twice a year, and they were always so much fun. And what I love about them is that it was always fun for the patients to bring a friend. You know, they could come and they could hang out, bring a friend, and I always fed them. You know, if you feed people, they'll come. Sad, but true. But we have an opportunity to be able to feed them like cool food. So I always had fun things to do. We always had raffles or giveaway or something fun, some new something that we were doing. And everyone loved it. And almost everybody brought a friend. We did it after work. It was like 2 hours. Like we just had a 2-hour window. It was really fun. And then, I don't know, I think it just sort of fell out of vogue. But as I've been talking with the doctors in Clinical Business Academy, a lot of them are saying like, how do I, well, it's always the question, I guess, for everyone is like, how do I get more eyeballs on my business? How do I get more people that want to come and work with me? And this is one of the things that I've been thinking about and talking with them about is hosting a really simple, it doesn't have to be complicated, but a patient event that actually draws people in, makes them excited, maybe even a little curious because they don't know about the woo-woo stuff that we do, And I think it's just such a great way to be able to spark some interest in the community. And, you can even host an online event. I think it's easier probably in person, but it's not that it can't be done virtually. It just requires a little bit more marketing. But in the community, you can always network and connect with people around you and other businesses and that kind of thing. And people know people, in a community. So I don't know. I just think that they're really a fun thing to do if you can set them up in a way that doesn't put a lot of stress on you or your team. Or if you're like a solo person, you're going to need some help. But that's when you call in a favor from your bestie. That's all. No spouses allowed. I mean, they can come if they want to, but I'm just being honest. Like I would never ask my husband to help. Ever, never. Because what he would want to do is get in and boss me around. And that doesn't work for me. I don't mind him bossing me around other times, but in my business, I get to be the boss. And so that's why I say no spouses. But if you have a great working relationship with your spouse and you guys are in business together, of course. But yeah, ask your bestie, call in that favor and ask someone to come and help you. So let's get into how we're going to do this. We're going to walk through how to plan it. So that's the first thing. Then we're going to talk about how to promote it. And we're going to talk about how to actually host it. And then I think the most important part is how to actually follow up with the people that are there. What a novel idea, right? That is gold. It's low-hanging fruit. Easy for you to capture them and just make a connection with them because it's all about building relationship, right? All right, let's talk about how to plan it. Really, it's very simple. You know me, it's got to be simple or I'm not doing it. Number one, pick a theme. That's all. Pick a theme. We don't want to say, hey, everyone, I'm having a party. The funnest parties are the dress-up parties or the themed parties as much as, pain in the neck sometimes to get a costume and all that. But, they're fun. They're way more fun. So pick a theme. It could be, you could do a blood chem. You could do a blood lab evaluation event. You could do a bring a friend event. You could do like an open house of some kind. You could do a mixer, like if it's around the holidays, and you could make some like non-alcoholic cava coladas. I'll have that link in the show notes, by the way. If you don't know what that is, you're missing out. Alcohol-free cava colada. So good. Anyway, you could do all kinds of things, but the most important thing is like pick a theme. What do you want to kind of focus on? What do you want to talk about? What do you want your event to be about? And then the second thing you want to do is simply just choose your format. Is it going to be a lunchtime event? You're going to control it, just do it like doing between 11 and 2 or 11 and 1 or something. Do you want to do an evening one where it's between like 5 and 7 or 4 to 6, like an open house type thing? If you're going to do an online event, you can do like even a hybrid. So if you have some virtual patients that you want to do, you could set up a camera in your office if you had a in-person and a hybrid. I think honestly, that's a little bit harder to manage, but you could do it. You or someone has to be interacting with your online people pretty frequently or you're going to lose them. So you want to choose your format. How do you want to do this? But if you're a brick and mortar, obviously in your space. Then next, we want to set a budget. And I'm big on that. We don't want to just get the credit card out and start willy-nilly doing things. Like think about, all right, if I'm doing it in my office, how much do I want to spend on food? Rather than just going to the grocery store and putting a charcuterie board together, like, okay, well, how much do I want to spend on food? If you give yourself a $200 budget for food, well, then kind of reverse engineer and see what you can afford to do that. So set your budget. You also want to include things like printing. If you're going to send out a mailer or I talked with a practitioner yesterday, and one of the things that she does, she's in CBA. One of the things that she does is she prints out like a postcard size thing, and it's printed on both sides, and she gives it out with people, and she ties up like little sample of a protein powder and a sample of salt, and she just ties that up together, and she gives that out to people when they've when they first start working with her at a 6-week mark or something. There's a point where everybody kind of gets this gift. So you want to think about that. What kinds of things might you want to give away? And again, our tendency is to want to overcomplicate it, which is so easy to do, but you don't want to do that. Don't overcomplicate it. You just want to think, what could I give them? Or what kind of printing things am I going to need? You don't necessarily need to create a big banner or something like that. And then you also then want to think about what activities are you going to do? Is it just you talking? Are you going to just be mingling? What would make someone want to come? So if you did a very specific thing, like maybe it's look at blood labs, well, then you are going to need help because you're going to need someone to, party with the people. Listen to me, the party girl. But you're going to want them to party with the people and hang out and welcome them, etc. But then you're going to need a space where you can actually look at blood labs and then make some recommendations. You can do that if you want to. Or you might decide that you just want to do a short talk on something. You might want to introduce a new service that you're offering or do a demo. Maybe you are a muscle tester and people have questions about it and you want to just do a patient appreciation event and you're going to, muscle test anybody who comes. I don't know. I'm just making it up. Like you decide what is it that you want to do. Don't take this wrong, but you can just do a straight up patient appreciation event, which is great. But you may want to do I call it a dog and pony show, but basically you're showing them something that they wouldn't know how to do. And a good example is like the calcium cuff test. Everybody loves that because they can't believe how that feels when they blow that thing up and then you inflate the cuff around that muscle and then that muscle cramps. You give them some calcium or Zypan or something like that. And then all of a sudden it works and they don't cramp anymore. It's just like those are the things that you would want to do. So you might want to think about that. What do you want to have at your event that might be kind of a fun thing? The whole point is you want people talking about it. We want to talk about it. Don't please, I'm begging you, do not host an event where everyone just sits around kumbaya and drinks chamomile tea. Please do not do that. We are talking about an event that people are going to talk about. That's the whole goal. And then just keep it simple. I know I kind of made it complicated right here, but I was just throwing out ideas. But I want you to think about how do I keep this simple? Because simple and intentional always beats complicated and stressful. So you just want to keep it simple, intentional, but let it be something that they're talking about. Okay. So first, plan a theme, pick a theme, look at your venue, like what's your format? What are you going to do? Set a budget and then plan your activities, but keep it simple. All right. So now you have that done. Now we're going to promote this thing. How are we going to promote it? Well, you want to start about 3 to 4 weeks out. If you have a really big patient base and you've got a lot of foot traffic, you may want to do a save the date. You could send out an email to your list. Hey, save the date. We're doing this event. But typically 3 to 4 weeks is enough. So here are the channels that you can market through. Obviously, email is going to be a big one. You're going to want to email your people at least once a week. Hey, don't forget, would love to see you. Bring a friend. Come with your questions, however you want to talk about your event. 3 to 4 weeks out, just start doing some emails. If you do SMS or texting from your office, which you can use some software. Please do not send them from your cell phone. You need a secure platform that's going to do the job for you. But if you do SMS, you can say, can't wait to see you, excited. You also have to decide too if you want them to RSVP or if it's just kind of a show up. I kind of like the show up thing. Just show up and we'll just take good care of you and love on you. I like that better. But some of you might say, oh, no, too unpredictable. I need them to RSVP. You will just lose some traction because people will RSVP and then they won't show. And then you end up with a hole and someone didn't show. So I kind of like the spontaneity of like, come when you want to come. So how else could you promote it? Obviously then social media. So you don't have to go crazy. Just do some social media posts. And then you can always post like a little countertop if you have an in-person office or in an office. You could put like a flyer on your countertop. And of course, then your website. You need to put a pop-up on your website that just says, hey, open house coming or free event coming or we're doing a patient appreciation, whatever you want to call it, and just have that be on your website. So I loved when I did them. I always loved doing some kind of a drawing or a raffle or something like that. Actually 2 years, I did it for a local charity, and those were the biggest years that I had people come. And I think people love that because they want to do something that's going to allow them to contribute. So you can do like $1 fund matching up to X dollars. You could. One year I did it for the Crisis Pregnancy Center because I was on their board. I was the president of their board. And they had a deficit that they needed to make up. And I thought, oh, well, I'm just going to host an event and I'll just like everybody that enters the raffle, I don't remember what I gave them. I think it was a free consultation or a big basket full of supplements or something. But everybody, they had to buy raffle tickets. They could buy as many as they wanted. And we raised like several $1,000s for the Crisis Pregnancy Center. So it was a great event. People loved it. And that was a very well attended event because people in the community wanted to get involved. They just didn't know how, but they could give their money and get in a drawing. So we did that too. So bonus entries, bring a friend entries, that kind of thing, but give something away, make it fun. And then don't fall into the trap of only thinking that you have to talk about it one time. Our attention spans are like less than 2 seconds. We don't want to just say, well, one time I told them all once and no one showed. No. In their face, every week an email, send an SMS, post it on your thing, talk about it with every patient you talk to. Are you coming to the event? It's going to be super fun. Are you coming? Can you bring a friend? Bring a friend, bring your mom. I'd love to meet your mom. Bring your dad. I'd love to meet your husband. Bring your husband. Just talk about it because people need to hear about it more than once. All right. So there's kind of some of the essential part of the promotion. Now we're going to host the event. Now hosting the event is the fun part for me because you want to make it warm and friendly, not too clinical, but every patient gets a smile, right? That's number one. Every patient gets a smile and a hug or however you roll. I'm a hugger. And then a raffle ticket just for showing up maybe, or maybe you have a punch card. I've done that before too, where they had to we created punch cards and then we had custom stickers made. And these custom stickers, every time they went and visited a booth, we called it a booth, but it was like a table. Every time they visited, they got the sticker, and then they went around. And if you had your sticker filled and you get entered to win, and it was some big bougie thing. I think on that event, I actually rented an Airbnb on the water and I gave that away and I had tons of people come for that. So, get creative. But you want to have a greeter at your events, your bestie, your neighbor, a staff person if you have them, a good friend or a really good patient, a good loyal patient that's willing to help you. So you want to have a greeter, somebody that can say hello. You want to keep it interactive, keep it moving. Don't just sit around and have a bunch of chairs in the lobby or in your lobby area or in the rooms. Keep it interactive. If you're a chiropractor, every treatment room has something else. Every treatment room you have one room that has a red light. People can get under the red light, or you have one room that has something else, some sound thing, or a salt room, or you have a vibrating table, or I don't know, you have a kids room even, you could have a kids thing if that's the type of practice that you have. So keep it interactive, make quick demos. You have a food station, or maybe you have someone that's helping you, showing them how to make a smoothie or how to make a cava colada, or I don't know, just make it interactive, make it fun. And then share success stories. Always invite, if you see someone and obviously you're going to know them. When they come in, say, hey, Mary, it's so, so good to see you. Would you be willing, or maybe you talk to them ahead of time, would you be willing to talk about your transformation while you're here? And then Mary just feels like she has permission and she can start telling her story. I worked with Dr. So-and-so for this long. This was my problem. And now I can do X, Y, and Z. So you want to get your patients like interacting with each other, because that know, like, and trust factor builds so much credibility, but it also creates trust. And people that might be new to you hear those types of stories and they're like, got it. Yeah, I see that. You got results. That's me too. So you want to like see if you can do that. The other thing that you can do is find someone that that's, pretty good with a camera. An iPhone camera is fine, but you want to capture the moments, capture the photos. It's such great social proof. We forget about the phones and the videos, right? So capture those moments. And if you need to get permission for someone to use their photos, you can always do that after. But don't worry about having everybody sign a permission slip when they come in. That's a barrier to entry. So just get them in, get them having fun. When they have fun, they're much more likely to say, of course you can use my picture. No problem. So yeah, assign staff, find a friend. This is when you're going to call in some favors. This is definitely a call in favor time. And then lastly is the follow-up. This, I think, is the most overlooked part. You want to make sure that you get name, email, phone number for everyone who comes. Give them a little gift, like fill this out and get your gift. You know how you do when you go to a conference, how you have to register, first. They have all your information and then they put you on their list. Well, you're going to get some new people. You might as well get their information, put them on your email nurture list, but then make sure that you follow up. I would tell you, follow up with a handwritten thank you note. I know. But listen, you're probably not going to have 100 people show. If you do, you're just going to get writer's cramp. That's all. But you're going to want to make sure that you have all those people, you've written a handwritten that was so great to meet you, or thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for helping. Thank you for being a greeter, etc. And then you obviously want to make sure that they're scheduling, right? That's kind of the whole goal, is that they are scheduling an appointment with you. So you may want to make that an opportunity in your follow-up as well. Here's a QR code you can scan if you'd like to schedule an appointment. I'd be happy to chat with you further. You can offer like a limited time special as a follow-up. And then be sure you post the photos you took or you had someone take on your social media, because people want to know. They want to know. They want to see what's happening. What did I miss? And if you can create that in a way that, something got missed, like they missed out. You missed out. We're not going to do the next one till next whenever. Maybe kind of throw out that date. When are you going to do your next event? And then maybe you have really great patients that showed up, or people that you just made a connection with. Ask for their testimonial. Like, here's a QR code, or would you share your experience at our open house online? They don't have to talk about you, your chiropractic skills, your whatever you do, acupuncture, whatever. They don't have to talk about that. They can just talk about your event. That just creates a lot of buzz. People are like, dang, I missed out. I should have been there. So you want to ask for that as well. So I know this sounds like a kind of lot, and I'm sorry, not sorry, but you know that I am going to have something for you. And I do. I have a free resource. Yes, I have all of this written out. You do not need to go grab your pen, paper, re-listen to this episode, although you can if you want to. But I've got a resource for you, and it's linked in the show notes. But all you have to do is you're going to go to rondanelson.com/patient appreciation. And when you go there, you're going to get a checklist. I made a checklist of all the things that you need to do or think about in order to plan your event, because I want it to be epic. I want you to have a great time. I want you to make a big splash in your community and let everybody know about the most amazing person that you are and why they should work for you. But this type of event is so great at creating loyal patients, reinforcing and thanking them for being loyal patients, but also getting new people in, generating referrals because they bring a friend. They're like, you got to come meet Dr. Bill. He's amazing. And you're going to end up creating good vibes and good deposits, I'll say, into the community. And those things come back to you tenfold. When you serve and you serve well, people are going to come back and say, gosh, that was really nice. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the great event. Thank you so much. It was super fun. So don't shy away just because it feels overwhelming. All you have to do, my friend, is just start with the task that's in front of you, right? Just this task right here in front of you. What do you need to do today? Maybe the first thing you do is you just say, okay, I'm going to choose a date. Or maybe today you think, I'm going to think about a theme. Give yourself a deadline. Okay, I have to make this decision in 48 hours. Tell your brain, I have to decide on a theme in 48 hours, because you know what happens? If you don't, a month goes by, 2 months goes by, and then you're thinking, I wish I would have done that back then. Don't just do the thing. Tell your brain, I have 48 hours to make the decision. And guess what? Your brain will get to work and it'll figure it out for you. It'll work with you and figure it out. Then your next step, when's your date? Okay, I've got the event, I've got the date. The next step, what am I going to do at the thing? What am I going to do? How do I want to do that? You've got 1 week to figure it out. Give yourself a deadline. Slowly but surely, you'll get them done, but not if you just say, oh yeah, Rhonda, that's a great idea. I think I'll do that. No, 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 no. We're here to take action, my friend. We are here to get it done. Not this, like, listen to a nice podcast as you're on the treadmill or you're driving to work, and then you think, oh yeah, I should do that. No, no, no. We're going to do the thing. So go to RondaNelson.com/patient appreciation and get your free guide, and you will have everything you need to pull off the most epic patient appreciation event ever in the history of your practice, I'm sure. There you go, friends. That's it for today. Of course, if you'd like to join me in Clinical Business Academy, which this is all of what we talk about, is how to grow your practice. What are the little things that you can do that are going to set the stage, set the foundation for you to have an epically successful practice? I don't want you to be figuring it out on your own. That's why I show up here every single week. I have not missed a week in 4 years. Over 4 years, I think it's been 4. I've not missed a week because I love showing up for you and I love helping you. So let me help you more. Come join me in Clinical Business Academy. All you have to do is go to RondaNelson.com/CBA. Get on a call with me and let's talk about your business, and I'll see how I can help. In the meantime, have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.